prescription medicine for thyroid eye disease, and I didn't have to hide so much.
In a clinical study, more than 8 out of 10 patients taking Tepezza had less eye bulging, and nearly 7 out of 10 saw improvements in double vision. Tepezza is an infused medicine. Patients taking Tepezza may experience infusion reactions. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as high blood pressure, fast heartbeat, shortness of breath, or muscle pain. Before receiving Tepezza, tell your doctor if you have diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD, or are pregnant or planning to become pregnant. Tepezza may raise your blood sugar even if you do not have diabetes and may worsen IBD such as Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis.
I look more like my old self again. Now I wear sunglasses because I want to.
Ask your doctor if Tepezza is right for you and visit mytepezza.com to see Jeannie's before and after photos.
Now we're giving you even more reasons to rediscover the joy of travel. Like more ways to reward your loyalty, which means future trips can be even more rewarding. Reconnect with more.
I met my boyfriend on vacation in Jamaica. He works at a swingers resort on the beach.
I let Kay get away once, and I'm not gonna let that happen to me again.
Steven is a DJ. There are always people trying to throw themselves at him. I have trouble trusting him.
I wonder, does he even love me?
I'm pregnant.
Is this your first child, or do you have some more kids with some more tourists?
Love in Paradise, the Caribbean, streaming for just $4.99 on Discovery Plus.
Front desk.
Yes, hello, I'm so...
I got you.
Go with us and get millions of flexible booking options. Expedia, it matters who you travel with.
Tuition-free, K-12-powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Dive into curriculum designed for the online classroom. Team up with state-certified teachers. Train in virtual instruction. Keep your student organized, focused, and academically on track. Discover the power of personalized learning. K-12. Education for anyone. Enroll now for the fall.
We got one of those new purple mattresses, and it is amazing. You have to try it.
Oh, this doesn't feel like memory foam.
No.
This feels amazing.
Right?
What is it?
Actually, it's called Purple, and it's a completely unique comfort technology, meticulously designed to cradle and support the human body.
Cool.
Purple's summer sale is here. Get free sheets and a pillow when you buy a select mattress at purple.com/TV.
Closed captioning brought to you by mesobook.com.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma. Call for the free book and receive so much more. Call 1-800-831-3700.
This just in, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has just called Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy a, quote, moron. This is after, well, she's responding to McCarthy's criticism of reinstating the mask mandate in the House. Let's get to Manu Raju on Capitol Hill. Yes, this is about a back and forth between them, but this is about a lot more than just words between the two, right? This is about safety and health and where we are with COVID.
Yeah, and it is certainly about tension between the two most powerful people in the House, the Speaker of the House, the Republican leader, who have seen their relationship devolve over the last 6 months in the aftermath of January 6th, and really before then, but even worse so as McCarthy has aligned himself with Republicans on this, has battled Pelosi's effort to investigate what happened here, and you're seeing this word-to-words reach new levels. And Pelosi just moments ago said that, quote, he is such a moron about Kevin McCarthy after McCarthy said, he sent in a statement last night, the threat of bringing back masks is not a decision based on science, but a decision conjured by liberal government officials who want to continue to live in a perpetual pandemic state. Now, when she was asked about those comments moments ago, she did call him a moron. It's hard to hear, but take a listen to her response.
About that, except we honor it.
Leader McCarthy says it's against the science.
So again, she said he's such a moron. Those are the exact quotes from the reporters who were around there. It's a bit hard to hear, but regardless, people may dismiss it as a petty back and forth, and perhaps to some extent it is here, but pretty striking comments. You really don't hear that level of personal insult being leveled from one side to the other unless that person believes it rises to that occasion. And here you have the Speaker of the House making this call about the Republican leader in the aftermath of his pushing back on the mask mandates in the House. And the mask mandates are coming back. They are required to be in the House, to wear them on the floor of the House. If members are not wearing them, they are subjected to a fine. And we're already hearing reports of tension between House Republicans and Democrats over this issue. So just adding one thing after another between the two sides of just a polarized environment in that chamber at the moment, in the aftermath of January 6th, add the pandemic here, and now you're hearing the war of words between the two leaders escalate. Poppy.
It's such a sad reality. You're right, Manu. Thank you very much for your reporting on that. COVID cases are spiking everywhere. They are spiking in Maryland as well, up more than 42% over the last week. But listen to this. The city of Baltimore is seeing a 151% increase in new COVID cases over the last month. This, as a little under 47% of the total city is fully vaccinated. My next guest quote says, quote, "It's becoming increasingly obvious that getting vaccinated is the difference between life and death." That coming from Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott, and he joins me now. Good morning, Mayor Scott, and thank you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
151%. As you sit here as mayor knowing it didn't have to be this way, what is your next step for the city of Baltimore?
Well, I think it's to continue our efforts. And for those who are unvaccinated in Baltimore, otherwise, if you were looking for a sign to talk to your doctor, Delta is that sign. If you're unvaccinated, I implore you to take the steps to get the questions you need answered now, before it's too late. Contracting the disease itself is far worse than a temporary side effect, and you don't want to be on that hospital bed, as some COVID patients have, saying, "Can I still get the vaccine?" Don't wait until it's that late. We're going to continue, as we have been now, going directly into our zip codes that have the lowest vaccination rate, using our credible messengers, using our partners, taking our mobile vaccinations to those communities so that we are having the impact where we're most needed, because this is about keeping people alive. We also have an increase over the last 4 months of positivity rate of 95% and 100% of fatalities due to COVID in the month of June in Maryland were from unvaccinated residents. It's that plain and simple.
Yeah.
Women lie, men lie, numbers don't.
What does this mean for your schools? As I understand it, you already have a mask mandate in your schools. Do you believe that this could mean yet another return, at least to partial remote learning for kids starting in the fall?
Yeah, well, we know that our school system, which is actually a separate entity from city government, is going to have a mask mandate. We know that they're pushing for our young people to go back to school. There will be a virtual option, but it won't be a hybrid. What I am worried about with the Delta variant is how it's going to impact not just our young people's ability to go and learn in person, which we know we absolutely have to have them do, but in a safe way. But for all these folks who are clamoring for us to return to normal or return to the things that we love, right? And they're not vaccinated. We cannot continue to have folks think that we're going to go back to normal. First, we're never going back to what we knew exactly, because the normal didn't work for far too many in our city, in our state, and in our country. But also be responsible. The misinformation about the vaccine that's being driven by folks, elected officials whose responsibility is supposed to be to give our residents the best information possible, who are driving a wedge, saying that the vaccine and that the pandemic is really made up, are being so irresponsible that they have to have soul searching, in my opinion, because we know that getting the vaccine keeps people alive, and that's the number one duty of any branch of government.
Yeah, for sure. When I mentioned that 46.6% of Baltimore is fully vaccinated, it doesn't really tell the whole story, because you have pockets where the numbers are much more troubling than that. There are certain parts of the city where 70% plus of folks are not vaccinated. And you guys even have people, reaching out, going to homes where people are housebound and can't can't get out to get vaccinated. I mean, I guess my question is, what more can you do at this point, especially for those pockets?
Yeah, we know that our zip codes like 21223, 21216, 213 have more than 70% of residents that haven't been vaccinated. We're going to continue to just double down on those efforts. We go door to door. Members of my team, my office personally goes out and canvasses and knocks on doors. We're working with our colleges. We're working with some of our local artists and musicians and everybody that we can, advertise on our local radio stations, using every credible messenger to go to where people aren't vaccinated to get them vaccinated. And we're going to continue to do that and continue to break through. We see the breakthroughs happening time and time again, but we also need people to be responsible. When you think about the amount of people that have died in my city alone from COVID, who didn't have to die, who got it because someone younger in their family just didn't get the vaccine or was being irresponsible around them, and now they've lost a parent or a grandparent. That's what we really should be thinking about, how we can keep the loved ones around us, the people that we work with, the people that we call our friends, our family, everyone that we know, safe from this deadly virus.
Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott, thank you, and really good luck to you and your teams doing that. I hope it improves. Thanks a lot. Well, next, new rules just out for Americans who want to travel to the UK. We'll tell you what they are. Also, flight attendants forced to learn self-defense. Can you believe it? To protect themselves from aggressive passengers, and the main reasons for the bad behavior is people reacting to these mask mandates.
Now there's a new way Experian Boost can raise your credit scores.
I boosted my FICO score 35.
Again. Everybody okay with that?
I
should. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or go to getleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate. Act now and save 15% off your purchase.
Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before it begins? Heartburn happens when stomach acid refluxes into the esophagus. Prilosec OTC uses a unique delayed-release formula that helps it pass through the tough stomach acid. It then works to turn down acid production, blocking heartburn at the source. With just one pill a day, you get 24-hour heartburn protection. Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
We love New York City. The Homecoming Concert, August 21st, exclusively on CNN. Presented by Expedia.
My favorite thing about Chime is getting my paycheck up to 2 days early, which is really cool because I walk into the office and I'm already boasting that I got paid. My name is Dulce and I love Chime.
Download the Chime app today.
Upgrade your eyewear with Lucid Light, Bluetooth-enabled audio glasses featuring your own personal speakers and a crystal clear mic. Just click the buttons on the glasses to turn them on and connect seamlessly. Invest now at startengine.com/lucid.
If you receive regular payments as a result of an accident, wrongful death, or medical malpractice, JG Wentworth can help turn those payments into cash you can use now. With JG Wentworth, you'll have a knowledgeable team on your side, helping you get the money you need now. Maybe you want to buy a house, a car, pay off debt, or go back to school. The point is, it's your money, and you should be able to use it when you need it.
Call 877-CASH now or go to jgwentworth.com to see if you're eligible for a $5,000 advance.
I'm Paula Reed, and this is CNN.
Well, this just in, the UK is fully reopening its borders to fully vaccinated travelers from the United States and the European Union. Starting next Monday, people from those areas will no longer have to quarantine when they arrive in the UK. You will have to get a COVID test before departure and within another couple of days after arriving in the UK. The return of travel has also led to an increase of bad behavior on airplanes. The FAA says already this year it has received more than 3,600 reports of unruly passengers on commercial flights, mostly over mask mandates. And now the federal government has relaunched a class showing flight attendants how to defend themselves. Wait until you see this reporting from our Pete Muntean.
They are taking a defensive stance against a growing problem in the air. Flight attendants are training to hit, elbow, and gouge simulated aggressive passengers, with actual passengers getting more violent than ever.
You are going to possibly die. You need to defend yourself at all costs.
Undercover federal air marshals are guiding 8 flight attendants through this self-defense course, the first class offered by the TSA since training was paused by the pandemic.
It's sad that it needs to happen.
Flight attendant Carrie is taking this class, having just returned to her airline following a leave of absence.
Are you scared?
Sometimes, a little bit, yeah. You get on a plane full of people and some of them aren't very happy and you just never know what's going to happen.
A brawl breaking out on a Frontier Airlines flight is among the latest unruly passenger incidents that the FAA says are skyrocketing. Federal documents detail how passengers have shouted down, grabbed, and struck flight attendants thousands of times since the start of a zero-tolerance policy earlier this year. In May, a passenger punched a Southwest Airlines flight attendant, causing her to lose 2 of her teeth, according to her union.
There's no backup at 30,000 feet. So that plane is in the air, that has a crew that has to deal with the issues, and it's incumbent on us to make sure they're fully equipped.
Federal officials say some passengers are fueled by alcohol, but most are fighting back over the federal transportation mask mandate, which make up 3/4 of all incidents reported just this year.
It's so bad out there.
Sarah Nelson of the Association of Flight Attendants says airlines should pay their people to take these classes, and the federal government should require that flight crews attend each year.
That we can have that muscle memory and be able to respond when someone is immediately attacking us.
Ready? Move!
Here, instructors are teaching techniques that could be life-saving, like pinning an attacker who is armed with a knife. But the TSA says only a few hundred people have enrolled in this course after it reopened training in late June. Veteran flight attendant Donna O'Neill says more like her should take this class to deal with a type of passenger becoming too common.
All right, ready? Move!
I don't ever want to have to use any of this, but, if I had to, I certainly feel much more confident.
Pete Muntean, CNN, Sunrise, Florida.
Wow, what a story, Pete. Thank you for that reporting, and thanks to all of you for joining us today. I will see you back here tomorrow morning. I'm Poppy Harlow at this hour with Kate Baldwin. It's her birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Kate. Starts next.
Buying a new car, Simonize is the worldwide leader of ceramic car care products. Simonize understands that protecting your new car's paint and interior is critical. Simonize also understands that weekly car washing at a professional car wash is essential. Wash often, buy wise, demand Simonize.
Is mealtime a struggle? Introducing Ore-Ida Potato Pay, where Ore-Ida Golden Crinkles are your crispy currency to pay for bites of this with this. When kids won't eat dinner, potato pay them too. Ore-Ida, win at mealtime.
When you earn a degree with University of Phoenix, we support you with career coaching, including resume building, interview prep, personal branding, and more for your entire career. So if you commit to earning a degree with us, we commit to standing by you until the day you retire. That's career services for life. Find out more about our commitment at phoenix.edu.
At K-12, I'm one of a million students
who've chosen public school at home,
where I get personalized attention and learn in a place that works for me.
These schools may not be for everyone, but they're here for anyone. K-12, education for anyone.
Priceline will partner with even more Vegas hotels to turn their unsold rooms into amazing deals. Delegates, how do you vote? Yes. That is freaky. Priceline, every trip is a big deal.
Angie's List is now Angie, and it's easier than ever to get your projects done right. Inside, outside, big or small, Angie helps you find the right solution for whatever you need done. With Angie, you can connect with top local pros and see ratings and reviews. Just search or scroll to see upfront pricing on hundreds of projects. And when you book and pay through Angie, you're covered by our happiness guarantee. It's easy to make your home an Angie home. Check out Angie.com today. Angie, and done.
Now Dish has dedicated teams monitoring your signal 24/7.
When salmon are plentiful, the adult...
Because we know you need dependable TV 24/7. Dish, TV you can depend on 24/7.
Here we go.
See Disney's Jungle Cruise. It's time to rock the boat, America.
The airport can be a real challenge for new homeowners who have become their parents.
Okay, everybody, let's do a ticket check. Paper tickets. We're off to a horrible start,
but we can overcome it.
We're not going to point out our houses, landmarks, or major highways during takeoff.
Don't buy anything. I packed so many delicious snacks. They're...
Nope.
Did you say ballpark when Group 2 is going to get boarded?
2 hours and 58 minutes.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
Someone should have left home earlier.
You need a ride? Yeah, let's do it.
The stories behind the laughs we shared.
Smelly cat.
History of the sitcom, Sundays at 9.
Our retirement plan? Well, our advisor chooses mutual funds he likes and invests in them. Simple as that.
Yeah, he knows about this stuff.
Yeah.
That's nonsense. A bunch of mutual funds is not a retirement plan. Mutual funds often have layered fees, cost more in taxes, can leave you over or under diversified, and aren't tailored to your specific goals. You may retire, but you can do better. Do you know the downsides of mutual funds or what other options are available? Call Fisher Investments for your free copy of 6 Pitfalls of Funds. We'll also send you a bonus, the definitive guide to retirement income. Call 1-800-260-7191. You're unique. Why have cookie-cutter investments? If your portfolio is $500,000 or more, call us at Fisher Investments. It's your retirement. You can't afford to listen to nonsense. Call 1-800-260-7191.
Jerusalem, city of faith and fury.
Sundays at 10, only on CNN.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Baldwin. Here is what we're watching at this hour. Turning point. President Biden set to announce he will require all federal employees be vaccinated or tested regularly, as there's new evidence that the unvaccinated are fueling this pandemic. And pulling back, Simone Biles dropping out of another competition to focus on her mental health. How the greatest gymnast of all time is breaking the stigma. Raging wildfires, incredible new video capturing one of California's largest fires just consuming a forest. Firefighters are trying to get it under control as we speak. We begin this hour with a potentially game-changing announcement from the White House. CNN has learned that President Biden will announce tomorrow all federal employees will be required to be vaccinated against the coronavirus or get regularly tested. Unvaccinated Americans, make no mistake, are fueling outbreaks all over this country right now. Just take a look at this map and you will see very clearly all states but one are reporting increases and big increases in many places of COVID infections. Southern states where vaccine rates are the lowest are being hit with the highest amount of community spread right now. All of this comes as the CDC reversed its mask guidelines for fully vaccinated people. Dr. Anthony Fauci saying it is not the science that has changed, it is the virus. And the science must, and their guidelines must evolve with it. Let's begin with CNN's John Harwood live at the White House on President Biden's big announcement. John, what do we expect to hear from the president?
Kate, every single thing that President Joe Biden wants to do, as a matter of public health, as a matter of reviving the economy, politically as well, hinges on getting this pandemic under control. And what we're seeing is that because of the Delta variant and because of the wall that the United States has hit in terms of vaccination rates among people who are resistant, we're seeing a surge in cases, and the administration has got to do something. Now, the CDC yesterday, as you know, put out that guidance about masks in high transmission areas, so even fully vaccinated people indoors in settings mixed with the unvaccinated are being advised to wear masks. And now that you have we expect President Biden to use the federal government's role as a huge employer to try to change the trajectory here by requiring vaccinations of employees and contractors, and if people cannot show vaccination status, be subjected to testing. The hope is that private sector employers will follow suit. We're seeing that to some degree in some settings. We're seeing that from universities, for example, and from some private businesses, but more of that has to happen in order to change the rate of vaccination, which is the one way out that the science tells us from this pandemic, and President Biden's trying to effect that.
John, thank you very much for that reporting. So, as we mentioned, it is in the South where the COVID wildfire is spreading pretty much out of control right now. More than 2/3 of the U.S. population also live in a county with a high level of community transmission. CNN's Martin Savage is live in Arkansas for us, which is completely red on our map, and yet a ban on mask requirements is set to go into effect today. Martin, what are you hearing there?
Yeah, well, that is very controversial because, of course, schools are set to begin August 16th. A lot of schools now are rethinking maybe we should get students and teachers to mask up, but they can't right now under law. We'll get to that in a minute. Right now in Arkansas, just like a lot of southern states, as you pointed out, they are suffering with a high transmission rate. And the CDC says if you live in an area that's got either a high or substantial rate, you ought to think about masking up indoors, even if you've been vaccinated. That map is quite stunning. But what's even more stunning is that in a lot of areas of the country, it's sections of a state. You get to the south, it's entire states. States like Arkansas, like Florida, like Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, and Alabama. They all fit into that masking category. Meanwhile, here, what's going on? This is a testing site in the middle of Little Rock, Arkansas. They've run this since almost the beginning of the pandemic. In the early part of the summer, it got so slow, they only needed a couple of people to operate it. That has changed, and changed drastically in the last 7 to 8 days, medical experts say. On Monday, they tested as many as 500 people. Yesterday, it was 300. There's been a steady flow of people coming in today. And the reason for that is because of a number that's low. That is the vaccination rate for the entire state, which is hovering around 40%. And if you want to see the heartbreak of what a lack of vaccination creates, then you go to the Arkansas Children's Hospital Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, where you will see its impact. Children, they never had so many children infected with COVID-19. Half of those cases are inside of that ICU. And to see those little bodies wrapped up with all of those tubes in such dire condition is heartbreaking, and it's all avoidable. The experts say just get a vaccine. Kate?
It's all avoidable and preventable at this point. Thank you so much, Martin. So what is happening in Arkansas is one of the reasons the CDC is making a big move, you could say backwards, but it is just the way forward now, revising its guidance on masks, now saying even fully vaccinated people should be wearing masks indoors in public settings. Here's the science that the CDC director says is driving this decision.
Here's the new science that we saw just in the last several days. With prior variants, when people had these rare breakthrough infections, we didn't see the capacity of them to spread the virus to others. But with the Delta variant, we now see in our outbreak investigations that have been occurring over the last couple of weeks, in those outbreak investigations, we have been seeing that if you happen to have one of those breakthrough infections, that you can actually now pass it to somebody else.
The 7-day average of new coronavirus cases in the United States is now over 61,000, which is more than 5 times what it was just a month ago. Joining me now, CNN's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Sanjay, what do you think of this new data that the CDC director just explained is driving the change in the guidance?
Well, I think this is concerning data because, when you are vaccinated, you're still very well protected from, getting sick. But it was sort of a question mark. How much does it protect you against actually potentially becoming infected and transmitting the virus to others? We've known that people could get infected for some time. That was even true from the original clinical trials. But with this Delta variant, it's become increasingly clear, at least to Dr. Walensky, based on data that we haven't yet seen, but she has told me personally that she has seen this data, that someone who is vaccinated and infected, the so-called breakthrough infection, they could carry the same amount of virus as someone who is unvaccinated and infected. Now, the vaccinated person's still very well protected against getting sick and all that, but the idea that they could potentially transmit is what she says is driving these new recommendations. One thing I want to say, just building on what Martin was saying, Kate, is that the primary problem, just to simply state it though, is still unvaccinated people transmitting the virus to other unvaccinated people.
Well, and that's
Sanjay, still the
I think
primary problem.
I think that needs to continue to be reinforced. This isn't about a problem with the vaccines, that the vaccines aren't working. That's not what this is. This is still only really happening because of the unvaccinated. When people inevitably ask, why do vaccinated people need to wear masks again? Or why do kids need to be wearing masks in school again this year? Isn't this all because people have refused to get vaccinated?
Yeah, I really think that's the case, and it's heartbreaking, Kate, because, we were so tantalizingly close to actually bringing this pandemic in the United States into containment mode, as they've done in countries around the world. But we couldn't get there because, there's still so many people who are unvaccinated. The virus continues to spread. You showed that map earlier. Those red areas, if you start to really dissect that data, you'll find that they are primarily areas that have less than 40% of the counties vaccinated. So there's a correlation between those red areas and low vaccination status. That shouldn't surprise anyone, but that is the fundamental problem. If you were to ask how much of an impact will masking vaccinated people really make, how much of an impact will that make on this? Maybe a little bit of an impact, but a far bigger impact would be obviously to get people vaccinated. And if they're not, they should be wearing masks for sure. Maybe the vaccinated people wear masks as well as a sign of goodwill, but mostly the problem is among unvaccinated to unvaccinated.
Pfizer also announced that they have new data today suggesting a third shot of its vaccine produces the protective antibody levels against the Delta variant that are more than 5-fold, 5 times greater than the protection you have after the second shot. What does this mean, Sanjay?
Well, as we were just saying, the vaccines work really well, right? We know that they work well, so that's great. If you add 5 times more protection to something that already works really well, I'm not sure that means a lot, to be candid. There may be some people for whom they did not get a good antibody response because they have weakened immune systems. This may be something that is a good option for them. The bigger question, I think, Kate, is not so much do you get this gigantic burst of antibodies, it's really how long does this protection last? The fact that you get 5 times more antibodies for someone who already has good protection, maybe not that important. If there is evidence that people who are vaccinated are starting to get severely ill, that those numbers are going up, requiring hospitalization, all that, then I think we start talking about potentially boosters in those patients. But right now, I feel, I'll just give my own example. I feel very protected because of the vaccine I received. I'm not planning on running out and getting a booster shot right now.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question. Like, should we start talking about a third shot even sooner before the signs of waning immunity start appearing?
Well, immunity it's a great question. I mean, you want to be proactive on this. I think you're absolutely right. But I think you have to be data driven. If there's evidence that the vaccine's immunity is waning, then sure. But antibodies are just one way of measuring that protection. There's all sorts of things that go into protecting someone after they've received a vaccine. And I think the real clincher will be if we start to see that vaccine efficacy starting to wane.
That's a great point. Great to see you, Sanjay. Thank you so much.
Hey, happy birthday, Kate.
Thank you, Sanjay. My birthday wish is always to spend it with you, so I'll take this, even if it is only on TV. Right. Thanks, buddy. Thank you very much.
Presents in the mail.
Thank you. Let's focus in on Florida right now, because Florida leads the United States in new coronavirus infections in the last week. The surge is overwhelming some hospitals. The number of people so sick with coronavirus that they need to be hospitalized has nearly tripled since the beginning of the month. Joining me now is Tammy Daniels. She is the Chief Nursing Officer at Baptist Medical Center in Jacksonville, Florida. And it is your medical center which is seeing this problem right now. I mean, you have said that you can't open up beds fast enough right now. What's happening in your hospital? What are you seeing?
Hi, Kate. What we're seeing right now, we actually have 5 hospitals over the Jacksonville area, and we're seeing patients coming into the emergency rooms very, very, very sick. Needing to be admitted, and the ones that need to be admitted are not vaccinated. The patients that are coming into the emergency rooms that have COVID that have been vaccinated are going home, and they need oxygen at home. But the really sick patients that are coming in are going to our progressive and ICU areas, and they need a high flow amount of oxygen, and they're creating the need for us to make more beds outside of our intensive care units.
My colleague, Randy Kay, she actually spoke with a few of the unvaccinated patients that you're talking about right now that are so sick that they need a high level of care in your hospital. I want to play something from 2 of them for our viewers.
I can have bread, it's good. I have shortness of bread. I feel sorry about not getting a vaccine.
You're sorry you didn't get the vaccine. Do you think you would be here if you had gotten the vaccine?
No.
You were more concerned about the vaccine than the disease, and now you say you regret it.
Exactly, that's all right. That's all right.
You wish you had gotten the vaccine.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I had gotten it now on time.
You probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really heartbreaking to hear that from patients who are just, you can see them struggling to find their breath that they'd wished now that they've gotten vaccinated. What else are you hearing from these unvaccinated patients that you're caring for?
Yes, Kate. What we're hearing is that they're also very fatigued, that they just do not have energy. They can't even walk around in their homes, and that they just wish they would have been vaccinated so they wouldn't be going through this. And the other thing that they're really concerned about is exposing their families. We've actually had whole groups of family members that have had to be hospitalized because they're infecting each other. And so that's a great concern for people that are coming into our hospitals. How do I protect my family from getting what I have?
Look, this surge around the country is driven by the unvaccinated. I was just going over that with Sanjay Gupta. 1/3 of the people in this country eligible for a shot have not gotten it. And I'm hearing more and more frustration and anger from the folks who have gotten the shot, who are vaccinated over all of this, because this pandemic is still surging. I mean, from what you are seeing in your hospital and throughout this pandemic, are you angry?
You know, I have a lot of emotions, and I know our team members are doing an amazing job. You know what, Kate? They're sad. They're sad because they're seeing how sick people are and that they're suffering, and they feel like if more people were vaccinated, the spread would decrease and we wouldn't be going through this. And so they're really heartbroken, is what I would say, because they feel like some of this suffering could have been avoided.
Probably a lot of it. I mean, what is your message to folks who are still resisting getting a shot, also pushing back against wearing masks again? I mean, what would have convinced, are you hearing from any of these patients, what would have convinced them to get a shot, to get vaccinated and protect themselves so they would not have ended up where they are right now?
What my message is, and I've had my own family members asking me this myself, is The science is right in front of our eyes. This is not a political thing. This is science right in front of our eyes. And 97% of the patients that are sick in our hospitals have not been vaccinated. And so we need to step up. And in the meantime, it takes a while to build the antibodies from the vaccine. I think we need to use other types of protection to protect each other. And that goes back to what we did, masking and social distancing, until the vaccine can take the effect that we need it to take. So my message is the science is right in front of our eyes, and it's unfolding rapidly, too rapidly.
Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your work.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. And she's still kind in spite of everything that she's up against. Thank you very much. Coming up for us, Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast of all time, withdrawing from a second competition to put her mental health first. The very latest from the Tokyo Games, that's next. Also this hour, a South Carolina jury convicting a man for killing a college student who had mistakenly gotten into his car believing it was an Uber. Details ahead.
Are you using Liberty Mutual's coverage customizer tool? So you only pay for what you need. Sorry? Liam, you're an animal!
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only 9% of plastic is recycled, no matter how much we put in our recycling bins. And up to 24 billion pounds of it enters the ocean every year. Groveco plastic-free household cleaners are designed to keep your home clean and solve the single-use plastic problem. Sustainably powerful for a healthy home and planet. Choose your free starter set today.
Carl and Alan have a lot in common. They're staying at the same hotel, with the same outdoor space, the same pool, the same hotel experience. But there's one big difference: the price. You see, Carl found the hotel on his usual website, whereas Alan used Trivago to scan hotel deals from the major booking sites and save $30 a night. Carl, try Trivago next time. Hotel Trivago.
We rolling? There's so many stories just waiting to be told.
Stories that bring us together and let us see one another in a whole new light.
Stories that connect us to our roots and to one another.
Stories that make us wonder and think in ways we never have before.
And we're just getting started.
Okay, you ready?
Let's do this.
Stream on Discovery Plus.
Dearest Smoke Shacks, defenders of the dry rub, thank you for giving your all to a 20-pound hunk of brisket. Whatever you serve, we'll proudly deliver.
In 2 days,
Everybody thinks that I killed her.
Matt Damon commands the screen.
She's my little girl. I'm not gonna give up.
In the most powerful thriller of the summer.
It's not safe for you.
You just have to trust me.
Stillwater, rated R.
The previous owners left in a hurry, so the house comes with everything you see. Follow me. So, any questions?
We'll take it.
Great.
It will haunt your senses. The heart-pounding Audi SUV family. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
With Realtor.com's home alerts, we found our new desert home really fast. And us cacti aren't exactly known for our speed.
Mainly because we don't have legs.
You work with what you have.
Realtor.com, to each their home.
Welcome back to Milkshake Mustaches, high fives and high dives, to 3-on-3s, 2-on-2s, and 1-on-1s. At Aspen Dental, we see all the moments that make us smile. So we make it easy to share your smile with convenient total care all in one place and flexible hours that work with your life. Right now, new patients get a complete exam and x-rays free without insurance, and everyone saves 20% on their treatment plan. Welcome back to life's best moments. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL or book online today.
For all of us who weren't born yesterday, there's Consumer Cellular, premium wireless with exceptional value. Enjoy talk, text, and data for only $20 a month. U.S.-based customer service that's been ranked #1 by J.D. Power 10 times in a row, and flexible plans that you can change anytime. Consumer Cellular is also an approved AARP provider, so members get exclusive discounts. Discover wireless that gives you everything you need for less. Switch to Consumer Cellular today. Call, go online, or find us at Target.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mesobook.com.
We proudly help veterans with mesothelioma. Call for a free book, 1-800-822-0400, or go to Mesobook.com.
Breaking news from the Olympic Games. The greatest gymnast, one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, Simone Biles, has pulled out of a second competition in Tokyo, withdrawing from tomorrow's all-around competition for Team USA, saying that she needs to continue to focus on her mental health. It was just yesterday that the 24-year-old superstar pulled out of the team competition following her stumble during a vault, as you see right there. Joining me now is CNN sports analyst Christine Brennan, live in Tokyo. Christine, you are there. You're in the middle of it, as you always are. What has been the reaction on the ground to this?
It's a bombshell, Kate, something that was entirely unexpected. Basically, 24, 25, 26 hours ago now, this news hit, and it has reverberated around the Olympic Games in a way that I have not seen a story be so surprising and also reach out to almost everyone in the games. In other words, I've been at the swimming venue today, and of course it's late now here, but all day, and swimmer after